to the Walt Disney Archive stage. My name is Julia Vargas. We're so excited to have you all here for this fabulous panel, The Muppets 70, a Glamorous Miss Piggy Retrospective. Without further ado, let's please give a warm Muppet welcome to our host, Yvette Nicole Brown.
For joining us for 70 years of the Muppets. Can you believe 70 years of the Muppets? I have loved them about 52 of those years, and I'm serious, I'll be 53 in a couple days. Come on, give it up. And I had the pleasure of being the chauffeur in Muppets Haunted Mansion, and I got to spend hours with Gonzo and Pepe, and it was amazing. So I want to talk to you all today about not just this amazing Muppet legacy and the wonderful Miss Piggy, but I want to talk, we're going to talk about how you preserve these amazing artifacts, because I believe that they are a part of our history. So to do that, we're going to have two wonderful ladies join me. First, we have the director of the Walt Disney Archives, Becky Klein. Come on, Becky. Come down here, Becky. Hey! We would do the pink and the black, and we would mix it up. And next we have the Muppet Studio producer, Danny Iglesias. Come on, Danny. Gorgeous. Let's sit.
Just yell at me.
I would like to point out that Danny is wearing Miss Piggy's pearls. And she's an amazing seamstress, and she made this beautiful ensemble. So have a moment. There's that $5. You owe me that $5. Okay, so I am excited to dive into Muppets history with you. Let's hear about you guys. So Danny, how cool is it to work with the Muppets as your day job?
It's the coolest thing in the entire world. I've been a Muppets fan like you my entire life, so I feel like first and foremost my job is to just keep being a giant nerd for the Muppets. That's job number one. But the Muppets moved under Walt Disney Imagineering in 2019, and as Imagineers we wear many hats. So some days my job is design concept art for future productions, some days I'm writing franchise guardrails, sometimes I'm designing logos or merchandise collections. So it depends on the day.
Or writing cards of thank you from Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy writes her own cards. She does dictate.
Check. I wanted to make sure it was actually from her what I got.
Absolutely. She dictates. But it's at all days my job is to be in Miss Piggy's beck and call, and I think the coolest part of my job is that I get to help her select her wardrobe.
You do. Yeah. It's exciting. I'm surprised she lets people help her.
She doesn't. I said help her.
Correct you. So what's your day-to-day job like? I know you said some of the things you do, so you get in at what time and what are you doing throughout the day?
Oh my gosh, it really depends on the day. So, I would love to say it's a typical 9-to-5 job, but you just never know when you're going to be on set or when inspiration strikes at 8 at night, or you're going to be at D23 with all these lovely people.
So amazing.
Yeah, it's a dream job, but the thing they don't warn you about with dream jobs is they are a lot of work.
Yes.
You care a lot.
Because you love it and you really want to do it. Now, Becky, tell us a little bit about your role at the Walt Disney Archives.
Oh, yeah. I represent the Walt Disney Archives, the historians of the company. I direct the division that takes care of all of the wonderful history. And as director, I oversee the Walt Disney Archives and all of our collections. And so what we're going to talk about today is some of those collections. The collection that we're talking about today is about the Muppets. And I'm so excited about this.
And I heard that there's something special that you're going to show us later that is Muppet specific.
Well, actually, I think my friend Nick is bringing it out for me.
Oh, right now?
Yes.
Everybody, that's Becky. That's Becky.
It's me as a Muppet.
As a whatnot. So how did you tell us about it? How did you get this whatnot? Tell us.
Yes, well, I've been with the company now for almost, in a few weeks, it'll be 35 years.
Wow.
And thank you. And 1993 is when I came to the archives. So quite a while, but for my 25th anniversary with the archives, the staff of the archives knew how much I loved the Muppets. So we had a team outing. We went to the Skirball Center and saw the Jim Henson exhibit that was there. And they surprised me at lunch with a Muppet of me. So it's got my name tag and the Walt Disney Archives shirt. It's even got the little gloves with the stripes on them. I always put stripes on my gloves. And, my glasses and my necklace and everything. So it's really
Oh, I
fun.
love it so much.
And they even made an actual official archives label to our exhibit labels.
Because it's official.
Walt
This is
Disney
official.
Archives. I've got the label. It tells what medium it is and who contributed, the contributing artists. It's awesome.
Oh, I love it so much. I heard that we have a special video from someone who couldn't be here today, but wanted to share a message. Should we just play it? Yeah? Okay, let's play it.
How I wish I could be there in person with you all. But that would mean going to the airport and standing in line at security. Well, you know. Anyway, I just wanted to say to each and every one of you just how inspirational it is for moi to be an inspiration to vous. I wouldn't be the star I am today without your adoration and support. What it must feel like to be watching this video of me right now, a legend! Well, not officially, apparently. I understand that the committee responsible for the Disney Legend Award has once again overlooked my For Your Consideration campaign and instead are bestowing it on another group of randos this year, including somebody I don't even think is a real person. Frank Oz? Give me a break! I can come up with a more believable name than that. Here, Ronald Robin Bloodens. I'm thinking off the top of my head here, okay? Come on, I don't have time for this right now. Anyways, thank you. Thank you for being here for this fabulous panel focused on the brightest star at D23, moi. Take it away.
All right, well, now that we've heard from Miss Piggy, we're going to go behind the scenes.
It's true. So since Miss Piggy is not here in person, we're able to pull back the curtain a little bit and talk more about the behind the scenes process and some of the people that help bring her to life and the craftspeople that contribute to her legacy. So I'm going to go behind the scenes a little bit.
Okay, so Danny, can you help take us back to the beginning?
Back to the beginning. Absolutely. So as you all saw on the sizzle, the Muppets are celebrating their 70th anniversary next year. Woo! We are kicking it off today. Kermit the Frog first made his TV appearance in 1955, and 70 years later, Kermit and the gang are still singing and dancing and making people happy, and we're so excited to celebrate them all year long from today through the end of next year. But as part of that 70th anniversary, we sort of started to take a look at all of the assets that we had in our working production inventory, and we realized we had a lot of treasures under our belt, and that, in the words of Indiana Jones, they belong in a museum.
Yes, they do.
So last year, the Muppet Studio reached out to Becky and her amazing team at the Disney Archives and said, we've got some of these assets. We think that they deserve to be protected. Can we hand them over? So everything you're about to see today is just a glimpse of some of the newest assets that the Muppet Studio has handed over to the Walt Disney Archives.
Oh,
So excited to have them.
yes. And as a fan, it's remarkable to hear about the care and effort that goes into wanting to preserve these special items. So Becky, what would you say makes the Muppets so special?
Oh, what can you say about the Muppets? I mean, they've been around longer than I have even. But, they're part of my childhood, just like everyone else. They're so important to the history of the Walt Disney Company in parks and films and television, of course. But I think it's the immediacy of the Muppets to everybody's personal experience. I mean, I grew up watching the Muppet Show on television and going to the parks and seeing the Muppets. And it's just one of those things that you can't really put your finger on it, but they are just special.
They really are. Okay, so well, listen, I love learning about the Muppets, but I think it's time that we dive into some of these amazing assets that you brought today. You guys ready? All right, let's go. Field trip.
So what are these
Down to the
things
field
on
trip.
the
We're going to
stage?
just move over here. I'm going to walk like a Muppet.
We're moving right along. Seamless transition.
Yes. Okay, where are we starting?
Starting over here.
Okay.
We're all gonna be very safe with this edge of the
So yeah, be careful, Becky.
Yes, I've got to put,
Did you want to be the director of the Disney Archives?
No.
Just give me a
No, Becky, no. Danny, I choked yesterday and Danny didn't try to save me.
I wasn't there.
It's false.
I wasn't there. I would have.
Becky wasn't here, but
Joe
Danny.
from legal will represent me, and I've got a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, she's putting her gloves on.
got
You don't touch these.
the official
assets
gloves.
without a glove. Okay, so we're ready. Let's go.
You bet.
It's time.
It's the first
Okay.
one.
So let's show the first one with magic. Now, one of the things that we do is we carefully preserve all of our assets with boxes that are made of acid-free paper and
Yes.
tissue. And today we brought a very special piece that
It's the Miss Hogan County sash.
Miss Bogan.
Oh!
We see this piece very, very briefly in the Muppet movie in 1979. But we, as you all know, you're all Muppet fans, we like to say the events of the Muppet movie are sort of approximately how it happened. So while fans had been seeing and falling in love with Miss Piggy since the Muppet Show, the Muppet movie is the first time we got to see sort of the origin story and how she met Kermit.
Yes. You know, but Miss Piggy is her own Muppet.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Right.
I think what I love about the Muppet Show and the Muppet movie is it sort of lets audiences start to see that this character has all this dimension. So she's really brash and outspoken and really courageous, but she's also got this insecurity and soft spot, and she's got this big dream of wanting to be an actress at all costs. And it's a lot of personality for one pig, but I think that part of the magic of Miss Piggy is all of the love that her performers have poured into her. Of course, first future Disney legend Frank Oz,
yes.
And now with her current performer Eric Jacobson, they put so much of themselves into Miss Piggy to bring her to life.
Yeah. What do you think that sash means to Miss Piggy?
Oh, from a storytelling perspective, you think about that moment, that thing that's going to push you over the edge, and I like to think that receiving recognition from her home county and then having this twinkle in the eye moment with a strange frog in the audience was the momentum that she needed to take the risk, pack up her stuff, and move to Hollywood.
And that's when she fell in love with Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
Very special sash. It's a lot in a sash, but it's a good sash.
So Becky, how does the archives take care of things like this?
Well, like I said, we put all of our costumes and things, they don't come to us like this. They come from them very safely and carefully, sent to us. But they usually come in a plastic bag or a plastic tub or something. And one of the things that we need to do is to take those things. We always joke that when something comes off of production, it used to be a prop. It comes through the door of the archives, and now it's fine art. and that's very true. We treat it like fine art, and so everything gets preserved in the right materials. It gets placed in cold storage in the dark. And we use gloves when we walk. You know, the prop people on the films don't really take care of things with gloves and handling with care.
We're working.
Yeah, they're working with them. So when they come to us, they get the prime treatment, and they get treated like fine art, which at Disney, it is.
Yes. Oh, I love how we're going. We're starting off strong. What do we have next? Let's move down.
Okay.
This old thing.
Yeah. Now this is special effects masterpiece. Muppets riding bikes. These are legendary.
Absolutely. So Great Muppet Caper. This is Miss Piggy's bike from the Great Muppet Caper. And I'm still in awe of how Jim Henson would do whatever he could to push the limits on the art of puppetry. So even like Kermit drinking a glass of milk from a straw on the Muppet Show, anything to sort of create this illusion that what you were seeing was really, really real.
Oh gosh, and I thought about Kermit riding that bike back in the Muppet movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You thought that moment was cool. Now let's give you an entire group of Muppets all riding bikes.
On a rat bicycle built for four.
Exactly. Let's push the envelope as far as we can. But what I love about this bike too is that it mirrors her motorcycle moment at the end of the film, and really establishes Miss Piggy as this character that when she's in trouble, she's not going to wait for anyone to save her. She's going to bend the prison bars back and break out and conveniently find a motorcycle and go save her friends. So not only is she a triple threat, but she also does her own stunts.
Yeah, I think we all love a strong, independent pig.
Yeah.
Now, Becky, there must be some cool items or vehicles in the archives, yes?
Yeah.
Can you tell me one that's adorable that you really love? Let's talk about the vehicle.
Oh yeah, well we have a car show downstairs. If you haven't seen it yet, go down there and see it. But there's a Ducati and there's
one that needed
scooter.
restoration, right?
This one needed restoration. This one came. I mentioned they don't always come like this. This one came to us in pieces, and there was no seat, and it was in a lot of different pieces, and we knew what it was. We knew what a treasure it was, so we took it to the studio mill. And they restored it for us and painted it and built a seat. This is based on the seat that's on Kermit's bicycle, which still has the original seat. And so they put the seat on it, and they just brought it to the archives a couple days ago. And I saw it for the first time, completely restored with Miss Piggy's basket and everything.
Oh, now it's here with us.
It's here with us.
Okay, let's keep moving right along. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. And now we have a special one to show that is just too ravishing to cover.
Thank you, Jared.
It's so pretty.
This is Jarrett. Big hand for Jarrett.
Thanks, Jared. Oh, what an iconic costume. Bonjour, mi ami. I'm not good with French. It's Miss Piggy's Benjamina gun costume. Danny, please tell us about this fabulous look.
I love this.
Can we walk?
Yeah, we can do a movement moment. But so Miss Piggy in the 90s started taking on more iconic roles, especially those of literary characters. So we see her as Emily Cratchit in The Muppet Christmas Carol, and of course Benjamina Gunn in Muppet Treasure Island. And I think we can all agree those roles were absolutely incredible and worthy of awards consideration. We have to say that and agree, or Miss Piggy would be upset. Excellent. Yes, all of you.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
But one of the things that always inspired me as a kid is the level of creativity and inclusion that the Muppets represent. So you take a classic story like Treasure Island, doesn't have a lot of roles for women, but who's to say that you can't reinterpret it and have Miss Piggy take on a reimagined role?
Yes.
So like Ben Gunn from the book becomes Benjamina Gunn. And you know, the Muppets are a franchise that has always represented so much more than what you are. So it's a world where a bear can perform stand-up comedy and a pig can love a frog and rats can be stagehands. Anyone can be what they want to be at the Muppets. And I love that this represents all of that.
Yeah, as an actor, being able to reinvent yourself is amazing. What do you want to add, Becky?
I love the boa.
Yeah.
It just makes me, and I don't know if you can even see, it's so, she's got her little purple gloves on and her neck.
Her doubloons.
Yes, that I hear is always 42 pearls.
42 pearls.
And we counted this yesterday.
We
and
did.
it's exactly
42 pearls
Yeah.
on Miss Piggy's necklace.
Yep. Well, this is a show-stopping costume fit for a star. What do we have next?
Oh,
Becky, back to the table. Back to
more to share. So this,
wait for it.
this is one of our newest pieces.
Want to touch it, Foo-Foo? So I don't know if we're allowed to have favorite assets, but this is truly one of my favorite assets that we've turned over to the archives.
Yes, now tell the story of this.
Yeah, so this is Foo-Foo #1. This is the original Foo-Foo puppet that audiences started seeing at the Muppet Show. She's a very loyal companion to Miss Piggy. She's at her side very frequently, but she's also a little complicated because, as you can imagine, perfect fashion accessory, very loyal, also a little bit needy, maybe a little bit needy, but she's a wonderful ambassador for our puppets. So Foo-Foo here is only with the Disney Archives because of her historical significance. She absolutely could have stayed in working production for quite some time. So she's a great ambassador for us. But you know, all of our puppets are handmade, a lot of them using the standards that Jim Henson set forth. And so with some love and care, she's been able to be in productions for decades.
How rare is it to have the original Foo-Foo, like for her to still be very?
Yeah, she's in great shape.
She's in good condition.
We do still have some puppets that, you know, have been around since the early days, and it's just about that refurbishment and repair along the way, and then of course identifying assets that are ready for historic merit to go live with the Disney Archives.
Oh wow, I love it. Okay, it's hard to believe that the Muppets are celebrating 70
Oh yes,
years.
it's
That's cute.
photos.
Becky, how has the archive helped to paint a picture of the past 7 decades?
You know, it's really wonderful. One of the things that we like to do at the archives, and this is kind of one of the things that started D23, is that we said, what can we do to share the assets that are in the archives? And so we formed D23, the fan club, and we started doing the expos then, like we are at today, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event. Woo! It used to be the expo. And we did this because we wanted to share the treasures and the exciting history and legacy that's in the archives. And one of the things that we did is we started doing exhibits, and we started really, really small on the second floor here. We had a little tiny exhibit with some of our crown jewels, and over the years, we've made bigger and bigger exhibits, and now we travel them all over the world. And so we take assets like this and we'll do very special exhibits because, you know, what's the point of having things, you know, in an archive if you don't share them with the people who love them the most?
Right.
And that's you guys. So this is why we do it, because we're big geek fans too.
Absolutely.
And we just make exhibits that we would like to visit, right? But we do it for you guys.
Oh, Foo-Foo, I love you. Okay, we're moving on.
Moving
What's
on.
next?
Well, asset number 5 here. This is pretty, it's a small piece. You're going to see just the box, the little gray box here. But inside is something pretty spectacular. I don't know if you'll recognize this, but if you saw Muppets Most Wanted, Piggy's engagement ring.
I think there's a little something about engagement rings because she got engaged recently.
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So this is no longer armed. We fished it out of the River Thames, so we're all very safe today. We thought it was a great representation of Miss Piggy in the new millennium. So with the onset of the internet, more people getting online, Miss Piggy rose to fashion icon status very quickly. I mean, just look, do we have some of her looks? So what is cool about this ring and why we thought it would be fun to be here today is that these pieces can also be storytelling components. They don't always have to be fashion accessories. So when it comes time for Constantine to propose, the fact that this was the ring he chose, it's a little bit dark and ominous. It's fabulous, of course, but it's not quite as fabulous as Miss Piggy's. It's a little bit of a tip-off that maybe something is not quite right. And Miss Piggy is, of course, always seen with her signature gloves and pearls and ring. And so Kermit would have maybe known a little better about what her style would have been.
Yes.
So maybe this is the foreshadowing.
That it may not work out.
It's well, it's also worth noting Muppets Most Wanted was the film that came out before the 2015 ABC TV series The Muppets, where Kermit and Miss Piggy shared a very public breakup. So maybe it's double foreshadowing that there's the rocky horizon in the immediate future.
Yes. You know, I can imagine Julie being an integral part of every character, so this is, it's her, but it's not exactly her, as you said.
It's got little black diamonds around it. It's the ultimate black diamond, I think. It's just beautiful. And of course, it has a countdown clock in it. But, because, you know, yours doesn't everyone.
No countdown clock. Okay, just checking.
We love
Just checking.
this.
Can you talk a little bit about some other treasures that Disney has in the archives?
Yeah, you know, we have a lot of things of various sizes. The interesting thing is this is a pretty small piece, and that's one of the things that we do is jewelry. So we have cufflinks and earrings and watches and everything. One of the pieces that I'm really excited, we're having we have an exhibit called the Crown Jewels of the Walt Disney Archives, and it's all that glitters. And we are actually opening it next month on September 14th, I believe, in Arlington Art Museum, or Museum of Art. And it is going to include a new piece from the Muppets. It's going to have Animal's collar on display. So we love that. I noticed that Fufu has her own little rhinestone collar here. So I don't know that we would take it off, but maybe we'd showcase her at some point.
She'll let you borrow.
But all the very fabulous jewels, and of course Miss Piggy's ring.
I'm sure Fufu would travel to model the collar.
I'm sure she would. I'm sure she would. So
All right, shall we move on?
Yeah, so the next piece that we're going to share is truly the newest acquisition from the Disney Archives. It came from Miss Piggy herself, and it's been packaged very carefully, as you can see. So she thought that the archive boxes were a little bit plain, so she's recommending a colored tissue and then a lot of glitter.
Yes.
yeah, I don't think she was very happy when I actually decided that it can't live in this beautiful box that she created. It needed to go into acid-free materials.
That would explain the angry note.
Yeah. I got a note from her earlier today that she was really not very happy, but wished us well and kissy. All is good, but this is something special that used to be in this box.
Okay.
What we have here, and Danny, you can explain what this is.
Absolutely. So this is Miss Piggy's Kermit Halloween costume from Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Oh, you know what? This is
your movie.
Yeah, this is you know what? This is such a great memory for me because I love getting to shoot that film with the Muppets. So this is amazing.
Isn't that
Oh,
cute?
I've never gotten to see it this close up. It's wonderful.
Yeah, a lot of detail there.
Pretty.
Oh.
It's got the little face, got the eyes on the top.
Oh my gosh.
The little rhinestone collar, and of course it's velvet.
Yeah,
Beautiful green
Of course
velvet.
it's velvet and
But
jewels.
it needed to go into.
Absolutely.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Piggy will forgive me, I'm sure, at some point.
Maybe someday.
Becky, can you talk a little bit about the partnership between the Muppet Show and the archives and how items are turned over for active inventory?
Yeah, as we do with most of our films and television shows, the company really wants to save these things. As I mentioned, we put them in exhibits and we show them for reference. So a lot of filmmakers come to us and want to see what did we do 20 years ago when we made this first film or something. And so a lot of things come to the archives, and we're just so excited now to have this really close relationship with the Muppets. And Danny and her team, and they're just doing such a wonderful job of restoring some of these things, creating mannequins that, you know, a Miss Piggy mannequin is not something that you can find at your local, you know, Hobby Lobby.
Yes.
But making these things for us and helping us to restore them, but also to bring them and give us the opportunity to care for them. It's a high honor for us. And we're really excited. We've now got things from all of the Muppet movies, from Muppet Haunted Mansion, Muppet Christmas Carol, Muppet Treasure Island, and as well as the original show and all of the movies. So We have some Muppet vehicles downstairs. We've got the Electric Mayhem van.
Oh, it's so great. I saw it last night.
And the Muppet Taxi. And then, of course, my favorite, the smallest vehicle in our collection, which is the little Interpol car that the Muppets ride in.
And you know, for me,
Lovely.
I'm always amazed because, you know, we're used to seeing the Muppets, but there's a puppeteer usually contorting their bodies under there doing it. And when you go and look at the vehicles, look at how small of a space they have to fit themselves in, and they're usually bent over, and it's really amazing. Please go look at the vehicles.
Yeah, well, you know, and that was that kind of leads into, I've had the opportunity over the years, I was a big Muppet fan as a child, and I always wondered how the puppeteers did that. And I was told they contort themselves. And and so I got the opportunity to go and watch them. And one story I was telling you a little earlier, one of the very first, I started at Disney in 1989, and my office that I worked in was out on the back lot. And so I would go out every day to the Western set or the Town Square sets, and I would have my lunch, you know, out there. And one day I was out there and I realized they were filming something, and so I snuck over there to watch, and they were filming Muppet Vision 3D. Wow. And so I got to watch that, and I saw my very first VIP celeb while I worked at Disney was Jim Henson. So I got to see him out there and saw him on the lot, and this was in late '89, and so it was not too long before he passed
away.
So that was a big thrill for me that he was my first Disney celeb.
Yeah.
So
What was he like?
you know, he was just lovely. He was just lovely, and he was having a wonderful time out there working, you know, out on the back lot. And that's a very historic back lot, and he was having fun being there.
I will say this about the puppeteers I've been blessed to meet that work with Muppets. They are the kindest people. They do not complain. A lot of them work very blue. In that car with Gonzo and Pepe, I heard some things I will never be able to forget. But they are lovely, lovely people, and to see them, some of them are like doing this, the Muppets have been around for 70 years, some of them have been doing this for 30 years or 40 years. Imagine bending your body up and laying down to bring something to life, or a character to life for that many years, so it's been really wonderful.
Yeah, you look at a performer like Dave Goelz, who has been Gonzo since Gonzo was
Nice. Fun fact, my favorite Muppet song besides Rainbow Connection is I Want to Go Back There Someday, and that's Dave Goelz, and I'm going to go back there someday. That's
so soulful.
It is. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We gotta have access to these performers who have so much passion for this craft. Is what keeps us going.
And speaking of Rainbow Connection, you just told me something out backstage about.
Yes.
Share it, Danny. We're very excited to share it.
We are in the process of turning the original Kermit banjo from the Muppet movie over to the Disney archives. So we'd love to see that, perhaps in a museum exhibit for you all.
I want to talk a little bit more about the transfer. Now, that banjo right now, when we see it again, it will be on tour, coming out of a box with, you know, whatever. But right now, where is it? It's probably a box like that. So literally, where is the banjo now? Before it gets transferred to Becky, that particular asset, is it sitting on someone's desk somewhere? Where is it?
Sitting on my desk. No, just kidding. It's not. So like Fufu, all of our assets, when we are ready to make the second round of them, are reproduced. So right now, that banjo, the original banjo, is sitting with our partners in Hoboken, New Jersey, being painstakingly recreated so that we can have a backup version of it that to the eye will look identical. And then we can take the historic asset and give it into the care of the archives. So right now it's being replicated in New Jersey.
Disney makes the live action remake of the Muppets. Of the Muppet movie, we'll have the banjo.
The live action, I would love it. I think we need a human-sized banjo, and also I would love your casting choices for the character.
I'll call you.
We're going to compare notes later.
I'm going to get permission, if this is okay. I'm going to try to call an audible, because I feel like there's probably some people out here that may have a question or two about the archives or the Muppets. If we could get a mic out there, are there any questions you guys have?
I can hear feet running.
I hear people just running
right
to them.
now.
I want to ask a question.
Practically running backstage.
These are two experts about everything. I see. Come on, honey, come on down. Two experts about archiving and the Muppets. So we're going to get a mic.
There's a gentleman right
there. Now be safe. Now everybody, safety first. Or as we said on community, safety second.
Mic and
ice cream first. Safety second, ice cream first. But no, safety first.
Race to microphone.
Yes, it's going to the mic. Hello, dear. What's your question? Are we on?
A check one.
Hello.
Hey. Hi.
Okay. self-proclaimed world's biggest Muppet fan.
I love it.
And
Who's your
I
favorite
want-
Muppet? Who's your favorite?
Oh my gosh, I was just talking about this in bed with my husband last night. I'm not kidding. We were laying there, we were like, what's your top 3 favorite Muppets? Go. And it's like a tie between Rizzo and Pepe.
I love it. Good choices.
And I was like, they both count for half, right?
Because they're tiny.
Yeah, they're tiny. And I want to know what you guys' favorite Muppets are.
What? We didn't even set that up.
I know. Go. You go first. You go first.
Oh, I'm going first?
You go first.
Oh, my favorite Muppets character is Bean Bunny. And I did not pay her to ask that question because my team is here going, she managed to sneak Bean Bunny into this panel. So I did it.
I have 2. I have Grover and Gonzo. I know Grover's more Sesame Street, but Grover and Gonzo are my 2 felt creations.
Well, I am not kissing Piggy butt here. But I do love Miss Piggy. I have loved Miss Piggy since I was, 5 or 6.
Yes, I love it.
I love the diva and of course Kermit.
I mean, everybody. I think Kermit is like the rotating
Everyone's-
number 1 for everybody. We just don't even have to say it's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that great question, honey. It's adorable.
Yeah, I love that. The mouse.
Hello, little one.
Hi.
Hi.
Is this on? Yes, it is.
It's
hi. What I would like to know is, will we see the Muppets again?
Jenny.
Hope so. Has something happened?
We haven't seen them in a while.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
In a movie. So.
In a movie.
Let's do it. Let's do it. You and me afterwards. We'll work through
Work it out. Let's talk it
Let's
through.
make it happen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great job. Great job. Oh, I love it so much.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much. Hi, fellow Bean Bunny fan here. I have a question about the archival process. Is there a way that you record or archive the information for how these puppets are operated or how they function? I am a puppeteer, so it's very interesting to see these, and I see Fufu and I wonder, how does she work?
There's a little sock under there.
That's a little tricky because we do oral histories in the archive. So that's something that now, this is a fairly new process of getting these original pieces
You're bringing
turned
up
over. And so that's a good point. Kevin is here somewhere. He's a huge Muppet fan, and he and I will talk about that as a way to maybe get together with some of the performers from the Muppets and actually watch how they do the work. That's a really great idea. Of course, we do condition reporting and stuff on the assets to make sure that we know exactly what shape they're in, and then if we do anything to them, like we did with this, we always keep the before and after, so we know what shape it was in when it came, and make sure that we're as close to the original as we possibly can. But that's a really good point, and I'm glad you brought it up.
From a production build side, we do have those processes for how the puppets are built, so that could be something that's.
So we'll do some oral history.
Thank you for helping us
Thank
think
you.
of this.
Thank you for that outfit. I love it. Hello.
Hi, I'm Christian. I'm a huge Muppet fan.
Hi, Christian.
Gonzo's my favorite Muppet. by the
See,
way.
come on. The choice.
And I actually have a few questions, and they're related to Muppets and Henson somewhat because they're owned by Disney. You know how you guys oftentimes how they do things to preserve the puppets so they stay in good condition and everything like that? One question I have is, how come the cloth material for the Muppets is easy to preserve, but the foam rubber stuff for dinosaurs is harder to preserve?
Totally. Great question.
It's the inert material that is in it. It's made usually of chemicals. Fabric is made usually of cotton or a natural substance, and so it lasts longer. But it's called off-gassing, and that's what happens with a lot of polyfoam and different things like that, and it either hardens and gets brittle, or sometimes it just disintegrates completely. And we have that issue with stop motion puppetry. We have that problem, and all of the different puppets over the years and the models and things have been made by different people with different formulas and things. And so some of them last a long time, but sometimes the foam just breaks down, just like it does in your lounge, your lounge cushions.
Because I heard the only thing that's still from dinosaurs is baby. Everything else deteriorated from what I heard.
Yeah, we kept what we could. We have underneath the skins, we have the heads and things from the dinosaur show. But yeah, we try to keep them if we can, and at least share, those. We have a Mr. Lincoln piece from the 1964 New York World's Fair, and the skin has had problems. So it's a latex skin, but we do have the mechanics, the robotic pieces underneath it, and so we still show them and share them. but it helps to understand how they're made. But unfortunately, there's just nothing you can do with some of these plastic and latex and rubber pieces.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you. I had one more, but should we just go along?
Well, yeah, let's see if other people get in. If you can get back around at the end and we get to you, we'll get you again. We got to share the wealth. That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Kate, and my ultimate dream job is to be a Disney archivist. I went to school for museum studies at Harvard University. I got a master's in it. I worked for the Newport Tennis Hall of Fame as a digital archivist. They're a Smithsonian affiliate. And my big question to you was, how do I get a job at Disney?
Shoot your shot, Kate! Kate, you shoot your shot! Yes, Kate! Yes, Kate! Yes, girl!
Advice on the best ways to apply, or
I love this so
how
much.
you was able to get a job, and what's been your process
Becky,
working for
come
the
on,
archives?
Kate is great! Becky, come on! It's her dream! Becky, it's her dream!
Well, first I have to say, I get that question every single day, literally.
Oh, I'm
but
sure.
you have done the right things. You've done your scholarly training and everything, and you probably obviously know a lot about Disney if you're here. I would say go down to the exhibit downstairs and talk to some of the staff down there. But the way I actually started as the secretary of the department. I worked my way up to director after,
They saw how hard you work.
and I just learned everything I could. And when the time came for my predecessor, Dave Smith, who founded the archives, when he retired, I had just started the collections department. I was the collections manager, and I knew the most about it. I knew where all the secrets were, and so I got the job. But I'm only the second director of the archives. But what's really wonderful is that I learned on the job, just learning everything I could about Disney and listening to everything and talking to everybody. And I say, if you want a job at the archives, we always post on Disney's job career site, which is Jobs, Disney Careers. And so watch that to see if we post. And as you might imagine, jobs at the archives are few and far between. People don't tend to leave those jobs because they're so wonderful.
Yes,
but watch for it
find a
and
job.
get to know some of the staff downstairs at the exhibit.
Yes, I will say this too. I love that you did that because learn from that. When you want something, go for it every chance you can. Kate, that was amazing. There's nothing more Muppety than that. That was a Muppet move, baby. That was a Muppet move. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, honey. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Emily. I've also been a Disney archive enthusiast for many years, also hopefully a future archivist.
Yes, told you.
I'm curious, along with obviously the preservation and restoration aspects of the archive, is there any research aspect to it?
Oh, absolutely. We started as a research archives. And so we have millions of documents. We have 25 million photos. As well as props and costumes. The prop and costume collections and these kind of things only started coming into the archives in about 2006 when we started the collections department. We had some really iconic stuff like Mary Poppins' traveling costume and Zorro's costume and Davy Crockett's hat. You know, we had things like that, but it was really one rack of costumes. And so we started the collections department when I started it in 2006. But before that, we had a massive collection of correspondence. We have Walt Disney's entire inter-office and personal correspondence collections. We have, like I said, millions of photos. And every time the company gets bigger, we get bigger collections. So our research function, we have a big research team. We answer questions from all over the world. And all of these presentations were put together by people from our research team. This presentation today was produced by two gals in our research team, Julia, who you met earlier, and Francesca Scrimger. And so this is an all-girl presentation. Hey! Yeah, the three of us, Francesca and Julia, and a few others.
Yeah,
but all girls.
Yeah, there's some surprises. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you too, hon. Hello.
Hi there. My name is Matthew, a fellow archivist who would actually love to go back to school one day to work in this field. My question was, are there any Muppet artifacts that are on like the bucket list of the archives that haven't been preserved, or maybe ones that we've lost, unfortunately?
Yeah, so, the Walt Disney Company acquired the Muppets in 2004, so that's sort of when our time at the Walt Disney Company begins with the Muppets. Before then, obviously, there were pieces that went out from the Jim Henson Company to different exhibits or to different folks, so I know I've got some pieces that I would love to eventually track down.
Name them!
Some of them, we talked about this a little bit backstage, is that in many of the Muppet movies, there are full-grown actors, big stars like Tim Curry and Michael Caine and folks like that. And often, you know, their costumes just went back into wardrobe and never made their
Or
way.
home with them.
Or home with them, yeah. So I was just asking where Tim Curry's Long John Silver costume was, or Michael Caine's Scrooge costume. So yeah, there are pieces that we would love to have that we might want to try to track down.
I will share that I recently, Bean Bunny was on my list to see in person, and I got the opportunity to meet Bean last year. And he's looking perfect. Now he's not ready to go to the archives yet because I need him around.
She's gonna bring him for a tour.
Thank you.
Pigs in Space Costume!
Love it!
Hi, my name is Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
I was wondering, speaking of like Muppet Treasure Island and stuff like that, what kind of literary works would you guys like to see as an adaptation? I talk about this all the time.
I want to see a Muppet Robin Hood.
What do you want to see?
Can you imagine Piggy playing Maid Marian?
Piggy playing Robin Hood.
Well, that's true.
He can do it.
There's so many, I'm such a fan of the Muppet Show when I was a kid, so there's so many I saw played out. You know, some of the fairy tales and stuff were played out, so it's hard for me to pick one. Maybe The Wiz, not The Wizard of Oz, The Wiz. Muppet, The Wiz, come on now, he's on down the road, come on.
No.
None?
I've got the great privilege of having a giant bookcase in my office that's got tons of anything that the Muppets have ever published of all time. And one of the things I just discovered, and you all probably already knew about this, but there are book versions of like the Muppets Phantom of the Opera, the Muppets Robin Hood. These are written and they're official and you can read them. And they are hilarious.
Nope.
So you have to use the film camera and your mind, but it's still very good.
Thank you so
Good
much.
question.
Thank you. Great costume.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Aiden.
Hi,
and
Aiden.
for the previous question, we should see the Muppet Avengers.
Whoa, somebody call Feige.
Come on. I see it. I'll talk to him about it later.
As long as I get an EP credit.
He knows how to negotiate.
This question is for Becky. I know it's kind of a loaded question, but are there any personal favorite items that you've like acquired for the archives that are just really significant to you that you're a big fan of?
Gosh, you know, well, since I started the collections department, we've been bringing things in. There's so many wonderful pieces. I think I had the opportunity to find some things that were directly related to Walt Disney, which made me very happy. I found his steamer trunk in the prop department, and it had hand lettered WED on the top, and he just, I guess, said, here, you know, this is old, and put it in the prop department. But it was in there. There was a little Gaucho doll that was given to him on his 1941 trip to South America. That was a caricature of him. You know, I found that in the doll section of the prop department. So this is, you know, these things kind of pop up. But I mean, I love all the things from Mary Poppins. I was able to acquire Bert's horse and some other great costume pieces. And there's just, it's so hard to go into it, but many pieces that are really near and dear to my heart.
I love it. We can probably get one or two more questions.
Hey! Over here. Oh, look.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I would quite like to ask a question, really. My hair is actually an original piece of Miss Piggy's feather boa.
What?
I just want to know, how do I keep it safe?
Oh my goodness. It's attached, I assume, right?
It is.
Is it sewn on or is it glued on?
No, it's just pinned.
It's pinned, okay. Feathers really last quite a long time.
Oh, good.
What I would say is if you want to keep it separate, you could unpin it and put it in acid-free materials. You can get them at library stores and things. You can get them online, acid-free materials, acid-free box and paper. And then the best thing is just to keep it in the dark, put it in a closet or someplace and keep it cool.
And gloves,
and when you're working with it, yeah, you don't want to get the oils on your fingers into the feathers, but they'll last a good long time. But I would be the best idea.
That's Piggy special.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to meet you.
Thank you.
Oh, hello.
My name is Dominic, and my question is, do you still have any of the props that Walt Disney first made?
Oh, props that Walt Disney
Yes, we do. We do have props from films that Walt Disney made. I mentioned Mary Poppins. Have you seen Mary Poppins? We have some really great. We have the snow globe from Mary Poppins and the blocks that Mary holds. That all of those were made by Walt Disney's artists and everything there at the studio. But we also have some things that were actually made by Walt Disney himself. He liked miniatures.
Really?
And he made a diorama kind of thing called Granny's Cabin. And he handmade it himself. It's based on the film So Dear to My Heart. And in it, he hand-carved furniture, and it's a beautiful piece, and it's on display at Walt Disney World right now in the One Man's Dream exhibit. So if you go down there, you can see things that were handmade by Walt.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dominic.
Okay.
Hey, Becky, it's Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey.
From the Disney Archives.
I have a question. Actually, I have a two-part question. First part question is, this has been fantastic. Hasn't it been fantastic, everybody? Okay, so I'm going to see this now. 2026, can we do another Muppet panel, maybe? Yeah?
Yes!
Okay, yes, sir. I have a second question. Can you tell us a little bit more about the costume, maybe?
Is that how you redirected us, Kevin?
That is how I waited in line. Helped redirect.
And thank you for those that got in line.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Sorry we couldn't get to everybody. Go, Danny, go.
Yeah, so thank you, Kevin, for getting us back on. But it was so nice
We
to
got so
talk to
excited
you
to
all.
talk to everybody. Okay, let's go.
Thank you so much. This is Miss Piggy's Muppets Haunted Mansion costume. I love it because not only is it an incredible idea for a Halloween costume, but also because it represents this next chapter in Miss Piggy's life and in her relationship. So taking on a role that, you know, in Muppets Haunted Mansion, she gets to play Madame Leota or Madame Pigota, but she also gets to play herself at this Halloween party. And I think it's maybe an indication that she's on better terms with Kermit, because I don't think you're gonna dress like someone unless you're on better terms.
Yeah, and it's such a coincidence. We were just talking about their breakup.
Yeah, so I'm so excited that they're sort of rekindling their friendship and getting back to a good place between us. They've been spotted at some quiet dinners.
What?
Some quiet dinners together.
I ship it!
We all ship it, Yvette. We all ship it.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that they get back into a good place, because I really do love their love story. So
You know, that is such a sweet thought, because Never Before, Never Again is one of my favorite Miss Piggy songs.
so good.
It's almost like Miss Piggy's siren call to Kermit, like across the room, their eyes meet. Oh gosh, if only there was like a beautifully talented mermaid voice.
This is perfect timing. This is Disney Legends, amazing Broadway performer and voiceover performer, Jody Benson, to sing Never Before, Never Again. Take it away, Jody.
Hey, D23 friends, how's everybody doing? It's so fun. I was invited to be part of the Muppets event a couple years ago that my dear friend Nina West hosted, and yeah, Nina. And so anyways, I just kind of got to be part of the Muppet family now. So I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled to get to be invited back. And yes, I'm going to share this song that Miss Piggy sings about her love for Kermit. And I'm gonna just pay tribute to her, because, you know, she's the girl, she's the diva, she's the one. Anyways, yeah, so yeah, I'm just here to share this little song with you. So thanks for having me. Never before have two souls joined so freely and so fast. For me it is the first time and the last. Is this an angel's wish for man? Never before and never again. And where to find the words to sing its worth? This love was bound for heaven, not for earth. This love was meant to light the stars. But when we touched, we made it ours. And could they take it back? Oh no, they wouldn't dare. Why should they take it back when there's enough? that keeps on growing on and on to fill each other's heart and light the dawn. Is this an angel's wish for never before and never again, never before and never
Thank you, D23. Sing that song. Sing that song, doggone it. Woo! We have another round of applause for the amazing Jody Benson. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today for 70 years of the Muppets. I want to thank Becky. I want to thank Danny. And I hope you all have a Muppet-tational day. Bye, everybody.